Welcome to Success Essentials today. I'm your host, Tom Fulmer, and in our studios with us is Dr. Randall Mauldin. Welcome to the show, Randall.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate being here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. I really appreciate the opportunity that you're putting out there. I mean, in Success Essentials, we really look to see how we can help people succeed, and that's something you've kind of taken to a different level in what you're doing. Why don't you tell our viewers just quickly what it is that you do?
Well, what we do is we help businesses achieve massive transformation through innovative ways of doing things. We look at the current research and the current trends that are working, and we apply those to businesses today. So a lot of companies that may be using traditional marketing or have been doing the same things for a number of years and are looking for new results, that's when we come in, because we bring in the new technology, the new methods, the new techniques, and bring those to a business and make them effective quickly.
That's excellent. I know we met a while back, and we've had an opportunity to work together a few times, and you actually have a project coming up that I really like the approach, and that's actually why when I contacted you about coming on for an interview, what I had in mind is you're doing a CPSM boot camp, and unlike everyone else out there, you're guaranteeing that people are actually going to pass the exam.
Correct.
And I think that's been a huge driving factor from what I've heard. So how did that lead into, or how did what you're doing now lead into doing that?
Well, what we're doing is a certified professional in supply management certification provided by the Institute for Supply Management. And this certification is for supply chain management professionals, which people, when they hear that, like, what is supply chain management? It's anything that has to do with procurement, buying things, logistics, different services. Every organization, any organization, buys something. Even a small business of one person goes out and buys office supplies and buys internet service. So they're always buying something. So what supply chain management does is looks at the whole supply chain from raw materials in some instances all the way through customer service, and then there's sometimes even a reverse logistics chain when somebody has to return something. How do you do that? So that's what supply chain management is, and this certification brings all the skills together for those professionals that are in this area.
And you actually came into this through your experience in the military, correct?
That's correct. I was in the Marine Corps for 20 years, and during that time I was at all levels of the supply chain, from maintenance and logistics all the way through supply chain planning, deployment planning, supply chain information systems. Touched it all.
And I imagine that gets pretty complex at times.
It can be. And actually the certification, we focus on what's important. And we give skills that people can use. Even when I was going through my own certification process, I learned so many different techniques, new techniques, that I immediately brought back to my organization, and they realized cost savings right off the bat. Just by going through the certification process, they benefited from it.
Right. And I know in our conversations you talk about new and innovative ways to grow your business, which is what you were talking about with your company, Jack Quinn Solutions, and how this ties in. When you talk about the logistics, supply chain, all that, all those things that people tend not to want to have to deal with unless they have to, really is a huge area of profit for businesses, because if they can save money there, that goes straight to the bottom line. Right?
Absolutely. And the statistics from the Institute for Supply Management state that if you can save 2.5% on your costs in procurement costs, that's the same profit as 10% increase in sales.
That's not bad.
So a lot of companies that may be not experiencing sales right now or declining sales are looking for ways to maintain their business and keep people employed. This is a great way to do it. This is a great way to do it because they'll find cost savings within their supply chain, and any cost savings in the supply chain is immediate profit.
Now, do you tend to consult with businesses? I know you're doing a lot of training right now with a lot of other professionals out there who are looking to move up in the world. You kind of had the job of an employee, and you decided to start your own company. But now you're really focusing on helping other people move forward in their careers as far as the logistics and supply chain. So how did it come about that you were doing the boot camp?
Well, it's the entrepreneurial spirit. Find a need, fill it, and hopefully make a little money. So what I found was that there were not a lot of certification courses out there for people to go to. And more importantly, there were not a lot of certification courses willing to put it on the line and guarantee results. So what we did is we created a program that guarantees results. It's a focused immersion. We use diagnostic testing to find out where people really need to focus their study efforts so that they can pass the exam on the first try. And these exams can be very expensive. So you want to make sure you pass it on the first time. And if people don't pass it on the first time, we bear that burden. and we guarantee those results by paying for the re-exams when they go through the re-exams.
Yeah, so there's a real incentive for you to make sure they get through it the first time.
And it's true, but that helps people make that decision.
Right.
They may not choose to go after a certification just because of the cost of the exams, and we want to help them get the certification. That's our focus. People get certified, and their organizations benefit because of that. We want to help them get there.
Now, you have one coming up not far. Our corporate headquarters is in Melbourne, Florida, and you have one not far from here coming up, correct?
Correct. Our next event is August 26th, 27th, and 28th in Orlando, Florida. Okay. For people want to know, for more information, go to www.cpsmtraining.com.
Excellent.
Or just give us a call at 1-800-961-6762.
All right, and we'll definitely put that out there. Let me ask you this: what is one of the biggest things people inquire about that are looking to take this exam? I mean, you hear from people all over the country, and you've consulted with businesses and all, from the area of people wanting to use this to move forward in their career. What's the driving factor for them to do that?
Well, the main things, and again, the statistics support this, and the statistics from the Institute for Supply Management state that those with the certification earn 23% more than those without the certification.
So if I show up at my job, then I should get 23% more money.
You should be able to negotiate with that certification.
If you have those negotiation skills, right?
That's right. That's right. You should be able to negotiate a higher salary. Because CPSM tells the world you're a supply chain leader, that you understand the whole supply chain. And that's the driving factor for any organization, even our military operations. If it cannot be supported logistically, it doesn't happen. And organizations such as Walmart, Dell Computer, they all have extremely tight supply chains where they just gain efficiency, and that's where most of their profit is in their supply chain.
Excellent. And do you ever work with companies to figure out how to go in together on things as part of supply chain?
Yes.
I'm just wondering about from some of the companies you may have consulted with, is that something that comes up very often, or is it usually within their own company changing things?
It's both.
Okay.
First, it starts with the processes, and do they have a process to measure anything? And
metrics, yeah, for results, yeah, of course.
And if they don't have the metrics or the processes in place, that's where we begin. We map out the processes and start to measure and collect data in regards to how they're spending their money, how they're spending their time, and all their resources, people, time, money, stuff, all that is measured. So then we start to look for efficiencies. Well, if we do a small change here or a small change there, a lot of organizations realize huge benefits right off the bat. Just by measuring the processes and mapping the processes.
Yeah, and I imagine some of the larger companies have more savings to be found at times. Would that be accurate? Or
absolutely. If they have not managed their supply chain, they've just been buying, and they don't have a system in place to manage their supply chain, then within probably 6 months they're going to gain huge benefits and realize significant cost savings.
Right. And I know there's a couple of certifications I think out there. The CPSM is one of the newer ones.
Correct.
And then what's the other certification that's out there?
There is another certification from Apex. There's another certification out there. And the old CPSM certification used to be known as the CPM, Certified Procurement Manager.
Okay.
And that has now evolved into the Certified Professional in Supply Management, because supply chain management is much more extensive than just the technical skills of procurement.
So this is a much more all-encompassing type of certification, which is why you make 23% more money, because it has more things attached to it, more expertise.
Right. And any organization considering sending somebody, it's like, well, I realized a return on investment, and just using statistics of a 2.5% savings. You're talking $1 million, $2 million company, 2.5% is significant.
Right.
So they'll get their return on investment on the person within probably 6 months, if not sooner, and then beyond. Excellent. And that's where they'll really see the cost savings.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier. You were talking about how much interest you found, because you weren't really sure what the interest level would be when you first had started this. But now that you've gotten things up and going, you've shown results that you're getting for people. You're starting to get a lot more interest from people. I mean, all over the place.
Correct. We have for our next course, for example, we had inquiries from the Philippines. We have people from Michigan coming to Florida.
Right.
All over the United States. A few phone calls from California. So,
did I hear you're going to? You have an interest in London as well?
Correct. We're looking to do a course in London here in the new future as well, and also Las Vegas coming up. So we're going to have a lot of courses to provide more opportunity for people,
right?
So they can go through the course and get the certification, and that we feel that's really just going to help organizations stay in business now, as well as start to realize more profits.
Let me ask you this before we wrap things up. What was when you got involved in logistics supply chain? You kind of moved up the scale. What was one of the most significant things for you that made you more successful? I know you went through some different certifications and things. Did you find that those really helped out as far as moving up both in career and in skill levels?
Yes. The certifications, one, brought skills that I may not have used in a while or have never even been exposed to. They brought those to the forefront, so they were new tools in my toolbox, so to speak. And also, as I became certified and I had the certifications at the end of the alphabet soup at the end of my name, people immediately knew what I understood about supply chain management. It's like, okay, that's somebody that's a professional in this area. We can use them more effectively.
Right. That carries a lot more weight with those extra credentials, and you're a doctorate as well, so you have we can get a whole string of them if you just kept going right there.
Absolutely, and certifications and initials are all good as well, but what's really important is taking action and having results.
Right.
And this, all the CPSM, if it did not provide results, I wouldn't be an advocate for it. But I've seen the results. I've seen organizations significantly improve when their people come back and go right into it. So it's a results-driven certification. So as soon as people are certified, just becoming educated in the certification process, their benefits are right there. So that's one of the reasons we support the CPSM certification.
Well, excellent. That's one of the reasons that you were invited to be on this show, is because you are focused on results. As you know, the people we interview have to be focused on results, helping other people and reaching out, and you fit that to an absolute T. And Dr. Mauldin, we appreciate your coming in today, and if you need to get more from Dr. Mauldin, interested in the CPSM training, go to cpsmtraining.com.
That's correct.
Or jackquinsolutions.com, which is your company's website.
That's correct.
My name is Tom Fulmer. You've been watching Success Essentials today with our expert interview series. Hope you'll join us next time as we interview more experts who are focused on results for themselves and for you.